Welcome to SDH's coverage of everything going on in MLS Next Pro. We will go over the last week of the regular season. Everything starting simultaneously in each conference, 2 o'clock Sunday kicks. Who's in, who's out, whose season is over. Where are we going from here? Because it was also time to pick your postseason opponent. We'll get into that coming up in just a little bit. Back on Sunday, all your Eastern Conference games were at 2 o'clock. All your Western Conference games were at 5 o'clock. We'll go through the implications coming up in just a little bit. For Atlanta United, it was the last match of the regular season, trying to be a spoiler, up against Columbus Crew 2. Here's your highlights for the Twos as they played their last game of the regular season, courtesy of our friends at MLS Next Pro and here on the SDH Network. You'll notice, you'll find a very familiar face, a very familiar voice, too, on the call. Clay Holstad back to Salerno. Atlanta United 2 pressing up the left-hand side, through ball. And here comes Crew 2 with a head of steam. Through, working their way, trying to get Garrett tested. And it's an early goal on the board, mishandled at the back. Gibran Rayo had the early touch, and it ends up going in the net 90 seconds in. Marco Micheletto with the goal. Gibran Rayo with the pass. It gets past the Atlanta United defense. And Marco Micheletto, a minute and a half in, gets the goal, and the Crew get the early lead. In-swinger with the left by Micheletto. He'll play it on the ground. Quick contact and a volley and in. Fantastic work. Abdirazak Muhammad with the goal. 1-2 touching. 3 quick pieces of contact. And the KB Bears are up 2-0 in the 20th minute. Clem backpedals, whistles. Points for Gibran Rayo. That is his cue. Rayo winds and fires, and it's in the back of the net. Gibran Rayo makes it 3 from the spot. Columbus Crew 2, 3 goals on the board. The third goal here in the 31st minute is Gibran Rayo on the penalty, as Kofi Tumasi was called without any hesitation by Drew Klemp. So it looks like Tiente will take it, and it is literally 19 yards. It is a yard outside the 18-yard box. 2-man wall for Crew at the near post. What does Tiente have in mind? Bit of a chip, looking up and over. Volley chance, and in the back of the net for the Twos. At the far post, and it is Noah Cobb. Noah Cobb at the far post settles it down. Tiente was looking. Cobb was kind of lurking right at the edge. One deflection, bounces once. Cobb launches it into the top of the net with the right. Last day of the regular season, anything is possible. Noah Cobb gets the goal for Atlanta United 2. And number 24 gets his third of the season. It's 3-1. Firmino, nice long ball through the middle. David Mejia, and it's deflected, and it trickles in the net. It's 3-2, and David Mejia is trying to get the ball back from Philip Quinton. Quinton gives it to Drew Klemp, and it's 3-2. Eastern Conference match of the week is the one that's next. Hunt City needed some help, and they needed a result against Chicago Fire. Would they get it at Joe Davis? Hunt City and Chicago Fire. Here's your highlights, courtesy of our friends at MLS Next Pro and Apple TV.
He makes 3 changes into the lineup. Of course, Ben Martino gets the start in goal. Leading the line today will be Azad Liati. Just 2 changes into the lineup, but a change in goal. Mihajlo Miskovic, he is back in between the sticks here today. So here we go. 90 minutes. It could be the final 90 minutes of the season as we are underway. It's Huntsville City and Chicago Fire 2. Played over the top. Euland has this covered, and all the way back to Mihajlo Miskovic, who gets the start in goal today. And now Amici lays this one off. A chance for a shot. It's into the corner. Nebiu Perry scores for Huntsville. A goal they have to have on a day where they need 3 points. That is a brilliant start. It's 1-0. A great strike right into the bottom corner. And Perry opens the scoring today. 40 points with Philadelphia. Remember, for Huntsville to make it, they need a regulation win We need a Philadelphia regulation loss, and NYC one or fewer points as this one finds its way in. An immediate response for Chicago Fire 2. Omari Glasgow, and it's 1-1. Good ball movement, just quick one-touch football there from the... Here's Leonard. Moved out wide, maybe a chance to shoot from distance instead. Moved out wide. Right back in the middle, it's a great finish! Billy Hensey scores for Chicago! The give and go, and the Fire lead 2-1. Silencing the crowd here in Huntsville. Lead 2-1. Great interplay between Glasgow and Billy Hensey, who finishes with a plum.
Chicago Fire 2 goals scored.
Bolaños for Liati. Liati trying to return this. Jonathan Bolaños scores! And Huntsville has pulled it back level. A great individual run from Jonathan Bolaños. Another look at it here. Just a toe poke and enough to get it by Miskovic. And into the corner. This is rolled in behind. Galina making the run. Galina cuts it back. Cleared away by Insa. Glasgow tried for the curler. Never really curled. Switch of play. Glasgow, he's in space. Rolling it forward. It's Galina. And the shot is right at Ben Martino. Leonard right back for Borso. Borso's coming in. The extra pass, it's cleared away. Playing this forward. On his back, the shot just wide. What an opportunity there for Huntsville. 90 seconds to go until stop. And then assisted the second goal as well. Glasgow scores. It's Velasquez Lopez, and it is saved. And Chicago wins the shootout 4-2. They will take the extra point.
And that's today's game.
Velasquez Lopez.
So Hunt City got the 1 point for making it through 90 minutes drawn against Chicago Fire. Chicago Fire got the extra point, winning 4-2 in PKs. So the Fire get the win on the road last week of the regular season. NYCFC 2 over Inter Miami 2. That one was at Drive Pink. Big one for Philadelphia Union 2 over Red Bulls, winning 3-1 at Montclair. OCB won at home at Osceola Heritage Park by the final of 2-1 over FC Cincinnati 2. Crown Legacy, after a bit of a slow start, understandably so, having to travel from Charlotte to Toronto, go through customs, was at York Lions Stadium on the campus of York University, put 4 on the board to solidify their top seed in the Eastern Conference. Out west, Colorado Rapids 2, doubled up Loons 2, 4-2 at the University of Denver. Earthquakes 2, 1-0 over LAFC 2 at PayPal Park, which brings us to our Western Conference match of the day. Dynamo Dos at Dignity Health Sports Park taking on Los Dos, LA Galaxy 2. Here's your highlights, courtesy of our friends at MLS Next Pro and Apple TV.
And here's the starting 11 for LA Galaxy 2. A mix of faces familiar and new. Dynamic left side, manned by the two Isaiahs, LaFleur and Reed. And everything funnels up top. Happy to have you along here on MLS Season Pass on Apple TV. Joe Malfa with you for the action. And we're underway now on Decision Day in LA. Into space for Klein. Flag did stay down. Has a runner in the middle. Klein lays it off. Blocked by the back. Oh, no, a penalty given. It seemed like it hit John Tyler Maples in the back. We'll have to get a second look at it. He's shown a yellow, and the penalty's granted. Oh, that's harsh. On Decision Day, clearly off the back, a penalty given, and a yellow card shown. Xavier Valdez, can he be a hero right here for his team early on and keep this scoreless? Gonzalez denied by Valdez. Swung in near post, comes all the way through at the back door, and it's put in! Who else? So they're back to 1-1. San Jose leads 1-0 over LAFC. It slipped through here to Gino Vivi. Coming in alone, Vivi scores! Houston was squarely in the field. That's how quickly things can change. Free kick sent in and sent right back where it came from by Schelotto. Now back in over the top. It falls in front and put home. A disaster. So went ahead and got that goal for Colorado late on. Final whistle. Houston wins it 2-1, and now they wait. Colorado, Minnesota are in stoppage time in Colorado. The Rapids are up 3-2.
Dynamo Dos gets the Duke 2-1. North Texas SC beats Austin FC 2. Los Verdos 3-1 at Choctaw. Sporting in St. Louis City 2. They drew at ones after 90 minutes. Sporting won 4-3 in penalties to get the extra point. Tacoma Defiance did the same thing, going up against Vancouver Whitecaps 2. Defiance and Whitecaps tied at 3 after 90 minutes. Tacoma won 5-4 in PKs. Then your last match on the last match day. To talk about Timbers 2 over Real Monarchs by the final of 2-1, as it was 11 versus 12 in the Western Conference there in that win. So the Timbers finish up their regular season with a win. So that sets up your standings and lays everything out for you to the postseason. Crown Legacy got the number 1 seed all the way through. Better goal difference over Colorado Rapids. Colorado Rapids 2 actually had better goal difference, 33-26, so everything will end up going through Commerce City. It was the same number of wins all the way through, and it ended up goal difference going to Colorado, 33-26. And so everything will go through the Western Conference, and everything gets played at either the University of Denver, or maybe they'll play it at Dick's Sporting Goods Park in Commerce City, Colorado. We'll know in a couple of weeks. Crown Legacy 10 points clear of the Revs. Crew 2 won their division at 54 points. Red Bulls are 4th at 51, OCB at 46, Fire 2 at 43, Philadelphia Union 42. NYCFC did not make the playoffs, 12-12-4 at 41 points. Hunt City finished at 38 points. Fantastic season for Hunt City, having to start their first 7 matches on the road before they ended up playing a game at Joe Davis Stadium. Fantastic environment there all season long as they finished 6-4-4 at home. 9-12-7-4 in the regular season and 38 points. Atlanta United 2 with their loss finish up at 35 points through 28 matches. TFC 2 at 29, FC Cincinnati 2 at 27, and Inter Miami 2 at 28 matches played and 22 points. So that sets up our playoff matchups. And here's how this works. You end up being the top seed. You get a bye to the conference semi. So Crown Legacy, Colorado, they work their way through. They're waiting on everybody else. Friday night football, we'll get into the schedule coming up in just a little bit. But if you're the 2 seed, you get to choose who you want to pick and who you want to play against in the postseason. Each team in each conference chose the respective 7 seeds. So, Eastern Conference, Crown Legacy, they advance, they wait. Revs chose Philadelphia Union 2 Sunday night, 8 o'clock Eastern time on MLS Season Pass and Apple TV. The 3 seed meant that you could choose from the teams that were left. Crew chose the 5 seed, Orlando City B. That will be the lead-in, 5:30 Sunday afternoon, 3 versus 5. So that meant that Red Bulls got to host Chicago Fire at Montclair, and that will be the one to start the day off. Sunday on the 1st of October, it is Red Bulls hosting Chicago at 1, Crew hosting OCB at 5:30, and it is the Revs hosting Philadelphia Union 2 at 8 o'clock. Western Conference, because everything is going to go through Commerce City. Your 2 seed chose your 7, so Tacoma Defiance, Sunday night, 10 o'clock, is going to play Houston Dynamo Dos. 6 o'clock and 8 o'clock are the other 2 matchups in the West. So that meant the 3 seed picked next, and they chose the 4 in Austin FC 2. So at Rock Chalk Park, 8 o'clock Friday night, Sporting Kansas City 2 is hosting Austin FC 2, which meant the 5 and the 6 would pair up all caps and San Jose Earthquakes. Sunday night, 6 o'clock Eastern time, it is St. Louis City and the San Jose Earthquakes. So that is how it's laid out. There was one matchup in each half that kind of set things away from going chalk. In the East, Crew chose the 5 seed instead of the 6, the Chicago Fire. They wanted to play Orlando City B, and then that meant the 4 and the 6 play in the East. 2 and the 7 are okay. Then the 3 wanted the 4. We'll see how that works for Sporting Kansas City. Still get the home game, but they chose the 4 seed, Sporting and on Austin FC too. So we'll see what happens in the first round of the playoffs. Next pro player of match day 28, Remy Cabral, second half hat trick. He needed all 3 of them to tie up for the Golden Boot race. 3-way tie for the Golden Boot, by the way. But Remy Cabral with his second half hat trick for Colorado Rapids, for Rapids 2, they end up giving him the player of the match day award. Team of the match day, Philadelphia Union 2, had to win to get in and get some help. They got the win to get in and got some help. MLS Rising Star of match day 28 is David Vasquez, and he is with Philadelphia Union 2. 17-year-old delivered the dagger. Second Rising Star of the match day honor this year. Union 2's 6th of the season, the most of any team in the debut of the award. And it was his shot that returned Philadelphia Union, or really did slam the door on Philadelphia Union 2, and them getting into the next round. So there you go. Power rankings at match day 28. Once again, we'll go 10-1. OCB, St. Louis City 2, Sporting Kansas City 2. Red Bulls 2 at number 7, Austin FC 2 at 6, Defiance at 5, Crew 2 at 4, Revs at 3, Colorado Rapids 2 at number 2, and Crown Legacy at number 1. So that is your news and your playoff format for how things are going to break down in the first round of the playoffs. Do us a favor, if you would, go on the 280-character app and on the Instagram, and please promote, follow, like, be a part of the conversation at MLS Next Pro on both apps. You can also get all the information you need on the web at MLSNextPro.com. When it comes to your schedule, and I know that we were looking to see how many of these are on Season Pass and how many are on the free side. They're all on Season Pass. The one match on Friday night, 8 o'clock, Sporting in Austin at Rock Chalk Park. 1, 5:30, 6, 8, and 10 are your matchups on Sunday. Red Bulls hosting Fire, OCB going to Crew 2, St. Louis City 2 going to Earthquakes 2, Revs 2, and Philadelphia Union 2, and Tacoma Defiance hosting Houston Dynamo 2 at Starfire. That'll wrap things up at 10 o'clock on your Sunday night. So that is the rundown of your postseason. If you are in market and can catch any of these matchups and catch the next generation of soccer players attached to their parent clubs, please do so. It's great soccer. It's a great education. You get to say, I knew them when. You can do it that way. Also, if you are in market and can't follow along in person, follow along on the local providers. And if you can't follow along in person or on local providers, what you can do is subscribe to Apple TV. They get all the MLS Next Pro matches all season long, everything from Major League Soccer to MLS Next Pro tournaments and everything in between. It is, once again, just dive right in, and you get the first chance to sit there and figure out what life is going to be like in MLS Next Pro for everybody come the postseason, with a couple of wild cards thrown in. But for the most part, everything is pretty chalky. So for everybody here at SDH, follow along. We're now in the postseason for MLS Next Pro. Enjoy every minute of it. We'll be back to talk to you about it again next week. Play safe, everybody. Enjoy the game.